everybody. We're going to be doing a tips and tricks video with 7 different tips and tricks going into the Sunbreak April 28th console release. First tip, eat before hunts. Okay, the eating system's pretty simple. They're called dangos, which kind of remind me of ice cream scoops. You pick and choose your 3 ice cream scoops, and each one has a chance of activating for a different type of benefit. So for example, Dango Wall Runner helps prevent stamina while you're running on the walls. Dango Slugger helps you knock out the monster a little bit faster. Now, you can pay with Dango tickets as well, and that increases your chance of activating those benefits, but please eat before hunts. Second tip is using the Argosy. So we can find the Argosy in the Buddy Plaza. This is Rondine, the trader, and she's going to be the Argosy as well as a slew of other things in terms of buying items and trading some of your other items towards her. So let's talk about the Argosy part, okay? In the Argosy, you basically have 3 submarines. You start off the game with basically only one of them unlocked. The other 2 you unlock through a few other side quests where you have to kill certain monsters or do certain things, and they will unlock. And then you can start your farm system. You see I have Might Seeds, Adamant Seeds, and Honey going, but you know, at various times I'll be swapping them out. So let's say I don't want Adamant Seeds, I'm gonna maybe put on some spider web, because I use spider web to make pitfall traps. I also use thunderbug all the time to make shock traps. So constantly cycling this through allows you to basically farm various ingredients that you use on your hunt. Now, on top of farming it, there's also the buddy bargaining system. So here you spend your science points, or whatever they're called, the blue points, and it basically improves the farming capability of the Argosy. And sometimes you even get like luxurious items within the other items that you are wanting to farm. So sometimes you might get, you know, rare fishes or rare insects or stuff like that. Either way, definitely should be doing this every couple of quests. Basically, each of those boxes that are yellowed out is 1 quest length. So after 3 quests, I'm going to have to come back and refresh my buddy bargaining so that I can then keep getting the most amount of items from the Argosy. Now, in the Argosy, you can also buy certain things. So like here, for example, in the special goods, you can buy things to hang in your house. Or in the rare finds, you can find some really cool stuff like great wetfish. I buy that all the time. Third tip, we're going to talk about melding talismans. Now this one is pure RNG grind, but getting a good talisman going into Monster Hunter Sunbreak is going to be huge. Okay, everybody's looking for that, you know, 3-1 or 2-1 weakness exploit plus something else talisman, and there's a good reason for it. Sometimes that even ends up being your best talisman in Sunbreak for a really, really long time. Okay, so when you meld these talismans, all you need to do is basically just throw a bunch of monster parts that you have into the melding stew, as I'm doing right now. Get it to max out, and you'll make 5 talismans per batch here. And we're doing the melding Wisp of Mystery because this is the one that's going to give you the rarity 7 talismans that have a chance of getting the good slots and the good skills that you possibly want. There's also the melding Rebirth, and this basically is here to help clean up your inventory, okay? Everything else that's trash and that you don't want, we can basically put it here in the melding Rebirth, and after you meld 20 of your garbages, you're going to get 3 possible talismans back. Now that's not bad. A lot of times what you end up getting back is still garbage, but it's better than nothing, and it helps clean up your inventory of all this other crap. When you meld any of these orders, basically you have to wait 1 quest per order. So here I just fast forwarded it just to show you. These are what I got from the first melding. Okay, this punishing draw with a 2 slot, not too bad for like longsword players. Okay, but you basically want to keep doing that over and over and over. Speaking of melding, on the opposite side is our tip number 4, key decorations. Okay, we have 11 pages worth of decorations in the base game. Maybe a little bit more if I have missed a few to unlock. But basically, you want to grind out the key decorations. And some of the key decorations are, you know, Tenderizer, Critical Jewel, Challenger Jewel, Attack Jewel, all the ones that are, you know, the most important parts of any build. I would definitely start with Tenderizer and Critical Jewel because they're by far the most important ones and the ones that are going to be the biggest pain in the butt. So, for example, Tenderizer Jewel uses Narga Medulla. I don't even have a Tenderizer Jewel yet, but I've been working towards it. This is my second playthrough of the game, so I'm regrinding these Tenderizer Jewels, and I've hunted maybe 20 Narga Kugas and still not a Medulla. Similarly, with the Critical Jewel, I own 2 of these jewels. I've made them, but you got to get an Almudron plate, you got to get 2 Magnamalo horns, and then you also got to do an Apex Blaze Sack, which you get from Apex Rathalos. So it's a whole slew of stuff. You basically just got to grind that out. It's going to help you a ton in Sunbreak. 5th tip, pick up Spiribirds along your route in every single hunt. The amount of times I go into a multiplayer hunt and somebody's getting 1 or 2 shotted by a higher level monster, I can almost guarantee it's because it's a combination of 1, not having enough health and stamina, and 2, not knowing the monster's fighting skills. So every time you start a quest, just run along. You gotta figure out where the Spiribirds are. Make yourself a route in every single map, so you can basically increase your health and stamina, so that you do not end up getting one-shotted. It's a very simple tip. Not much to say about that, but make your routes. Tip number 6, monster drops. Okay, so every time I go on a hunt, you know, I get into a wyvern ride, and there's a specific way of maximizing the number of drops you can get every single hunt. Alright, so when you're on the first monster, as I'm doing here, you basically want to get 2 to 3 strong attacks before you launch that first monster into the second one. This ensures that you get 3 drops from the first monster. And then you do exactly the same thing with the second monster, except at the end of your strong attacks, you don't launch the monster. You can just do your mounted Punisher. This will ensure that you end up having 6 awesome drops to pick up off the floor. And if there are other monsters in the hunt and you get another wyvern ride, honestly, I would hop onto one of the monsters you've already got drops from and attack the monster that you haven't gotten drops from it. It's just an easy way to farm drops from monsters that you aren't necessarily fighting at the moment. Okay, so tip number 7, arguably the most important one, know the fight. I am by no means a speedrunner. I am by no means the world's best Monster Hunter player, but I know my fights. Okay, I put in the effort to learn the moves for the monsters so that I'm not a burden on other people. The worst thing is going into a multiplayer fight against Zinogre, against Magnamalo, against some of the other faster, more aggressive monsters, and just watching people on your party get one-shot. Okay, if you think high rank is tough, you're going to see master rank is going to be even harder. The monsters are going to have the same movesets as the high rank monsters, but with additional moves. They're going to be more aggressive. They're going to hit harder. Alright, this is my second time playing through this game. The first time was on the Switch. Now I'm playing on the console. So I know what to expect in Sunbreak. So get ahead of the game and learn the monster moves. It will help you so much. Learn the counters, learn the moves you have to avoid, learn the moves you have to dive away from. Alright, don't be that person who shows up into a multiplayer hunt and carts 3 times, causing everybody to fail a 15-20 minute long hunt. Don't do it. Alright? Do the hunt yourselves, and you'll thank me for it. If you like this video, guys, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one.